I forgot to hit record. First question is from Lord G Sun. How do I stop this play? Fake jet halfback seam. So really on that one that you have there, there's only two. Let me share my screen. There's only two threats really. Um, on that particular play. Can you guys see my screen?
Almost. Now we can.
All right. So there's really only two threats on that particular one, right? I have one in spread that's a little bit different, but I have those two routes as well. Obviously, for the outside guys, you just want to have a deep third or deep quarter or deep half over the top. I mean, those outside guys are not really a threat as long as you have a deep defender over there. And to my knowledge, that play you can't audible anybody. So whatever they, I mean, that's what they're going to call right there. They can't hot route anybody in that play. But in my play, I have this one out of stack, which is again does have the similar thing. It's just instead of having the streak on the left, I have like a little stop and go. So let's back up here. So what I would do to defend, I haven't played this much, but I would just man up the running back and cover the crosser by myself. Out of whatever defense you're in. Jason, what defense are you in right now? What formation you're in? If I knew this was coming. Also, one thing I do want to mention when you guys are facing this is understanding the quarterback's animation when they are running this particular play. Okay? So when they're running this particular play, you're running 3-3 out. All right, let me get in that. When they're running this particular play, I believe in that formation as well. I know in mine, but I believe in that one as well. They will hike their leg up. So you'll know that's what the play is. Okay? Or it's that one might be a more exaggerated. Let me see here. There's different animations for the quarterback depending on if it's the jet touch pass, if it's a quarterback power, or if it's the fake power halfback seam, right? So this one here, let's see what he does. Okay, so it's a big hand wave. Okay, so as soon as you see that big hand wave, you should know that they're going to be running that fake, and then it's going to be the seam wheel because it's the only fake there is in the game right now. There's no other option that they have really. But if you notice that that big hand wave, if I just go to a jet touch pass, right, the hand wave I believe will be a lot smaller. It's not as exaggerated, right? So if we say hike, you see how it's a lot closer to his body. He doesn't really get his hand out there very wide to make that call to that receiver. So that's going to be a little tell that you can have to know that they're running that version. And then if they're ever running the power play, you're going to hike your leg up. Okay, so if you ever see him hike that leg up, you know it's going to be fake with the power to the quarterback. All right, so those three things right there are very important to understanding which play they're running to begin with, right? So again, if they run this, you can see that big exaggerate, right? He gets that hand out there wide. It's more of a, like I said, exaggerated play. But when it comes to actually stopping the play, like I said, you just have to be ready for that and not chase the jet sweep, right? I run this play, not a ton, but I run this play a decent amount. And the way I get people is when I get them over pursuing on the jet touch pass, right? So let's say this is the user here, right? And we say hike. And if this is your user and you run over here, you're now opening up that throw, right? The actual route combination on this play itself is not super deadly. It's the motion before and the thought in your head that, hey, I have to chase that jet touch pass. But if you understand the motion with the quarterback, it's going to help you understand, hey, I need to stay back and just defend what I know is coming, right? And again, all I would do to defend this, if I knew this was coming, I would just man up the run. You can play cover 4, cover 3, and I would man up one of my yellows on the on the running back, and I would just cover the crosser, right? So I may fake, but then know that I'm going to come back here, and now we have both of those covered, and you shouldn't have to worry about anything. They can check it down to the flat. If you want to go hard flats, you always could do that, right? So let's say that, let me get the right controller. Let's say that you want the hard flat over there to the side the jet punch is going to go. Again, I'm still going to just man up that running back. And when they say hike here, I'm just going to, I'd probably fake, right? Trying to lurk them, trying to bait them. And then I'm going to go back here. But now we have everything covered, right? We cover that. Obviously, you'd want to set up a pass rush where you can crash down. You're not containing like I had there because we're not going to be able to get pressure if you're going to contain. But that's how I would defend it. Like I said, it's staying at home, right? If you overreact and you run all the way, that's when this is open, right? But if you just man up that running back, you can see we would be able to take the tight end, obviously, with our user. But the running back manned up is going to be covered. So you're going to have that. And then, obviously, the outside guys, like I said, you're not worried about them. And if you wanted to take away the flat here, just do a flat route out here. And that's going to take that away as well. So that's what I do. Like I said, just be disciplined on defense. That's the main thing with this play. Because you shouldn't run it. There's a ton of defenses you could run if you're not over pursuing, right? That's where this will open things up. So, like I said, try to get used to that hand motion with the quarterback. You should be good to go on that. Any other things to add there, Ant?
I'll do that in the 2-4 double mug. So you could do the 2-4-5 there.
Yep, I can see.
Basically, if I know this is coming, this is something that they're gonna run. Usually, you gotta understand the first time someone runs this, they're probably gonna get you on trying to figure that out. All I'm doing is to double the dog 3 buzz.
Okay.
And you got to understand that the nickel corner is not worth anything in this. Can you motion? You can't motion. The play that he did, the outside guys left. Your nickel corner is going to be covering nobody on this play, so might as well just keep him on a blitz, right? Because the deep guy's going to get the deep guy. The crosser is going to get the crosser. The guy's going to be in no man's land. He's not covering anybody. So keep him on a blitz. All I'm doing is I'm spreading my deal on my linebackers, and then I'm blitzing the left seam flat. And then I'm using the 3 rec. And to be honest with you, they don't have enough time to go to throw it to the running back and because there's no one blocking. So if you just do it like this,
so you're putting pressure on them.
Oh, everything, all the time.
Yeah. Then
you're not getting it off.
I forgot to shade up there too, so my seam flat actually chased the guy. So let me.
Yeah, but just in general, if you because you gotta understand the nickel corner on this play is useless. He's not covering anybody. So at this point, I'm making it to where they're gonna have to either dump it off to the guy to the right, which I could easily just put my seam flat on a 0 if I wanted. But I'm overloading the side in which the player's coming from, and because he's gonna go through it as this thing's. You see, we're gonna get one guy through the middle right here. The only throw they have at this point is to dump it off to the right, the play on the right. I'll give that up every single time.
Yeah.
If that's their only throw, then the next time you adjust to it, right?
But, yeah, and if they do dump that, your guy's still there to make a play, even if they.
Right.
Yeah, it's not.
So
right.
just looking at the player, just know that left corner, because he's going to start that play, he's doing nothing for you. Might as well blitz him. Because if you think about it, how the guy on the outside is going there, you're going to be covering most likely the tight end. So blitz that guy.
And the reason he's blitzing this seam flat to the left as well, guys, is to take this tackle out of the way. Because again, he knows when they're running this, there's no tight end, there's no running back blocking over here. So with this alignment, as long as we send both of these 2 guys, the tackle can only pick up one of them. Which again, we're still going to get pressure up the middle, but you also have the pressure off the edge if your pressure up the middle somehow gets there or it gets blocked. So you're going to definitely get a man free on this, possibly 2. So again, definitely just a high pressure situation. Like I said, there's a ton of things that you can do on this. You just have to not over pursue. That's the key to it. If you run with that jet touch pass, and the good people are going to try to set you up with it, right? That's how I run it. I run the jet touch pass throughout a game, and then in certain moments, I'm like, I'm going to throw this in there because he's used to that jet touch pass. I've seen him over pursuing. You just got to really be disciplined on defense.
Right. And to Griff's point, I've never gotten upset for any of my players that have blitzed to blow an assignment or to miss the zone. If they're blitzing, I can't be upset at them. So sometimes you just got to understand yourself and know where your stress levels are. Oh, you know what? He didn't get home. No big deal. But I don't like people that stand and just touch grass. So that's how I
go. Caesar, I'm looking at your play here real quick. See what play it is.
It was a rollout, right? I saw it earlier.
Oh, gosh. Turn the game off. No, rollouts are my least favorite things in the game.
So, Gunwing stack out of Chiefs playbook. And it's also Commanders.
Yeah.
I guess you would play.
I mean, it just looks like a stick concept. Honestly, the big issue on this is the way you sent pressure, you were never going to get a shed. Because you only sent 3, and you weren't using anybody close to the line. So you're right. So you only sent 3, and you actually were on one of the 3. So you only had 3 rushers. So he's going to have all day. and you had nobody rushing to the right side of the screen. So that just gave him the easy rollout, right? Because everybody you were rushing was to the left side. You were only sending 3, so you're not going to get sheds. And that was really it. Because once he started to roll out, then your underneath defenders and your QB spies that you have were chasing him, right? And that just opened up that spot. There was nothing about this play that's specific in my, unless there's something you're seeing it that I'm not. I just think it's the way you set your pressure.
Yeah, I think he had 100% covered, and then when he rolled out, those guys followed him. I know he got caught on the defensive line, if that's what he wanted to use. But if you have a user defender, there's nobody open. You stay in the middle of the field. There's no one to cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you did. Like I mean, the reason he was able to roll out was because of the way that you had the defensive line only rushing from that left side of screen, and then you dropped your right of screen guy in a flat and your right of screen D tackle and a QB spy, so there was no one rushing, so that makes it an easy rollout over there just because there's no pressure. But like Ancap said, it did look like you did get clicked onto that D tackle there at the end, or right before the play started. If you're on a user, just make sure you're, like he said, stay in the middle of the field on that. It's about understanding, because sometimes you'll want to chase people to the corner, right? And sometimes you don't. It's just understanding where your help is. On that play, you had the right sideline pretty well covered. So like Ancap said, you just want to stay in the middle with your user. It did look like he playmakered that guy, but again, typically if someone's playmakering somebody, they're going to playmaker him towards the way that they're running as well. Right? So if he's on a hitch and you see him playmake, you always want to look for that little circle below him. He's most likely not going to be rolling right, playmaker the receiver all the way back to the left and make that throw. If he does, let him have that. But yeah, I think the only thing you could do better on that play, to Ant Cat's point, is try to get those adjustments in a little bit quicker, just so you are able to get on the right guy, user-wise, because it's tough to make a stop at all in this game if you get clicked on a D tackle. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. Is there anything else you want to add on that, Ant?
No, I thought there was less of an issue on that play. I thought he did pretty good on it, except for the fact that he didn't stay in the middle with his user that he didn't have, because everything was boxed besides it.
And that's one thing that's tough too, is if you allow the rollout, you have to understand that you're underneath guys, like that QB spy and that, we're chasing him. So that's why you have to know that you have to be in the middle, right? And Cap said you got to stay in the middle, and that's because when they roll out, your hard flat's obviously going to be out there, your QB spy is going to be out there. So they're going to leave the middle now, right? A QB spy will stay in the middle of the field, and he was helping cover that hitch until the quarterback rolls out. Now his job is to go chase him, so then you have to replace where he's at. But yeah, just try to get those adjustments in a little bit quicker, just so you can make sure that, and everyone gets stuck on the D lineman, so don't, that's a mistake everyone in the world deals with. And I noticed, let me see real quick. I think you were, let's see. So the only thing here, again, I'm just nitpicking because I'm trying to find something that could help, is, yeah, it looks like most of the things you're moving, most of the times you're clicking onto different people was just to move them out and realign them. So quick adjustments really wouldn't even help you there, because obviously you can't move your cornerback out. Maybe base, align, and press would be a quicker adjustment there, instead of you clicking on that outside corner and dragging him all the way to the outside. But yeah, not a really bad rep by you there. Just an unfortunate rep that you got clicked on the wrong guy. Trent, my question is stopping wide bunch. Mainly Jags book bunch wide to bunch tight end. RPO in it with that Jags crossplay. So let me go get the Jaguars book, because I don't know exactly what we're talking about here. Do you know? I mean, bunch wide, I typically play it the same way as I play bunch for the most part. Sometimes I'll play it a little bit different. But what most people want to run is that dagger play out of that against me. Which, I don't think I have Jacksonville.
Are we talking the bunch wide nasty?
I think
it's open tight end.
I think it's bunch wide. Um,
There's a bunch open tight end. There's a bunch wide nasty. So I'm trying to figure out which one he's talking about so I can look at it a little better.
I think it's the one that has the dagger play. The bunch wide. Let me see. Bunch wide nasty to open. Okay. So, and what is that? You said they have that in Jags? I have not
Jags,
seen that playbook
yeah.
all year.
It's very similar. It's just the nasty part is that the player is closer on the left hand side.
I've faced that. I just didn't know that they were in Jags to run that. Is that set up in another playbook?
Denver and Miami is the other two playbooks that the bunch wide nasties in.
Gotcha.
So my question is talking wide bunch, main Jags. Bunch wide tight end, RPO net with the Jags cross play.
What defense are you in, Trent?
Yeah, so the open tight end's got the alert bubble to the inside receiver, and it's got the screen to the outside receiver, which is, and then it's got the fixed screen vertical wheels that. It's got the flood. I mean, it's got some headache plays, but it's very similar to, bunch wide flex. Really, any of those plays that you faced in the past.
Yeah. So you said you're in big nickel or mug. All right, so I'll go Raiders playbook.
Yeah, the Colts, because that has both.
Raiders does too. Oh, you're talking. I guess I don't have the right mug there, but I have 2-4-5. Again, the pressure's going to be a little bit different here watching this, but we can still set up the same coverages.
The alignment's going to be a little bit different, yeah.
All right, so let's. Hopefully next year they fix this controller issue.
Yes. It's low on my list compared to what they need to do.
I agree. Okay, bunch wide nasty. Is there a certain play in here that he's running a lot that gives you struggles? The Jags crossplay, is that in this one or is that the other one?
But Jags the ball. It's got the one that's got the guy from the inside. No.
Oh my gosh.
So it's very similar to me to the bunch Y flex.
Yeah, I've never played against this particular play. So if you have an answer right now, Cap, of what I'm trying to think of how I would go against this. I mean, it reminds me of the bunch play that people run where they go drag on the tight end, crosser, then that little inverted zig. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're going to have 3 people crossing at 3 different times from right to left. I can show you what I do to defend that personally.
Add some more pressure.
Yeah, no. And the good thing with this, right? If you're in double mug, there's no play action on this play. So you are going to be able to get the pressure unless they block their running back.
I mean, if you know this is the play that they're doing, it'd be simple. All you'd have to do in double mug is to take the outside right guy, put him on a quarterback spy, and what he's going to do is he's going to cover that drag early, and he's going to pass it off to the other flat, and then the 3 rec is going to take the outside player, and you're going to just take the crosser, and then just do a Mabel on the left side. If that's the exact play that they're doing. I don't know if there's any adjustments.
Are you leaving?
Like when I do a place like this, I know that they're all going to one side. Kind of like I do this a lot out of bunch tight end.
Yep.
I'm spying the player on the right. The
slot?
The seam flat.
Oh, okay.
Because you want him to take the initial drag across the field and pass him off to the 0 or 5 yard seam flat.
Yeah, makes sense.
The three rec is typically going to either take the crosser or the in. Typically, he'll do the in, depending on who you want to man. I would man up the outside guy just to make sure that he takes the in. With the blitzer.
Are you using the slot corner here?
You could use the slot corner, or you could do. It depends on who you want to. So if you maybe the left side, the deep zone, the 3 rec. Then at this point, I'm using the right safety. and I'm manning up the B, the outside player.
You mean the outside corner or the slot?
It's the slot. I always man up the
Okay.
slot.
Okay. No,
Slot
I
gets
was
manned up every
confused.
single play I play.
When you said outside, I was confused. No, okay. So this is what you would do.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep. And so then you're just gonna really play these.
A quick, then sit in the middle to card B.
Yep. So you're gonna sit right here. You're just gonna follow these across the middle. Right now.
Right.
Um.
Always worried about the deeper player. Always worried about the middle of the field first.
Yep. All
But
you. Yep. And with that, what he's so if you ever are using, because I use her safety a lot against bunch sets. If you are ever the deep third in a set like this, like you have to cover. You have to watch out for the streak first, like to the inside seam, right? So if anything was running, like if this tight end was running straight down the field, now it's nice because they don't have a corner route out here to take your corner out of the play, so he can play over the top. But you always have to prioritize that deep route first, and then I just really look for the break, right? So as soon as you see him break inside, then you can start to follow. Um, but as you can see, this QB spy here, from the seam flat. Again, if you know everything's flowing to the left, that's what ANCAP said. He wants to do this, so he's going to help out over the middle, take away the quick read here to this drag route. We would have wanted to man up. I thought the outside guy was on the dig.
it
I mean,
was.
it doesn't matter. The outside guy's this drag on this play, isn't he? I think I did it.
Not by the original player.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
No, I
it?
guess he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So I mean, in that situation, I'd probably. I don't know. If you man up a player, guys, and then you manually press that player, your guy will adjust and get closer to him. I don't know if you guys knew that. So, if you wanted that slot corner to guard Jefferson, you would man him up to Jefferson and then manually press Jefferson. It's gonna mess up now because I've already done it, but that's how I do.
And a lot
That's
of
how
times,
I
like
make sure I get the alignment correct.
with the spy, I can't tell you how many times a spy with Lark Artist will pick off that speed dig or that in dig, like because people aren't expecting him to be the one that when they do it on the break. So you'll get a lot of picks by having that guy to spy. So whenever I see speed dig out of bunch, this or bunch tight end, I like to if that's a play that I feel like there's coming, I will spy that guy and he'll go up there and work that a lot.
Yep, and this was a good rep here. So again, if you know this play's coming, I would man up the middle guy because he's the guy on the dig. Because the drag again, we have the QB spy for the drag, and then he's gonna eventually run into this flat over here as well. So we man up that guy. So again, we can know with pretty good certainty that we don't have to worry about 82 at all with our user. So now that helps us play a little bit more aggressively on the tight end. So now we're just reading which way he's breaking. And then again, if you're at this point, you can try to lurk back to this if they're going to try to throw this behind you. This would be a very dangerous throw for them to make. Again, getting the press is going to slow this route down, which actually will help you be able to play both these routes here. Because, again, there's not a lot. But, again, I'm always going to chase that. Now, if you have the cloud flat over here in 25 or 30, right, you can let this go. Once it gets to about just past the hash mark, I start to let those routes go. Because now he's going to be running into the cloud flat over here that's 30, which would be this guy. Again, I don't have it on 30. It's just stock right now. But this guy would be backing up. And, again, any of these deep crossers, you can let them go if you're following them at about right there. Is typically where I let them go. Because now if they go to throw it, there's going to be a 30-yard cloud flat over here that's going to be able to make a play on that. And this is where you could lurk back to this dig route over the middle. So, yeah, that's a really, really good way to defend it out of.
The issue is that you also have to defend the RPOs, which this is not a good setup for the RPOs. So
Is there an RPO in this formation?
It's an alert bubble, yeah. Or he'll audible to it. So this play here, I don't think there's one in this formation, but I think in the other one there is.
The bunch open tight in this.
Open tight end, yeah. So that's where, obviously, when you see that. Actually, I don't think it's that case. Like, I don't think you can go from one to the other because the tight end.
Yep.
On the bunch open tight end is on the left side, so they're gonna have to flip. You have time to change it.
Yep.
Unless they've got it to where they've found a way to change up their packages, but
I don't think there would be a way to do that, to be honest. And honestly, These RPOs here, to me, are the worst RPOs in the game. These two specific ones, because these blockers do not do a good job, in my
They're
opinion.
they're looking for numbers on this. That's it. Because if
Yeah.
you don't have numbers, those guys like you cannot. They suck in. So
Mm-hmm.
like literally a soft squat on the outside, it doesn't get blocked on this. Like if you have a
Yeah.
nickel and a soft squat, like
Yeah, I'll
if
show you
you
guys. I hate this one, honestly. Like, I've ran this. Um, Obviously, it's in the spread book, but first of all, if you. This guy's over here on that play, which is interesting. So that's just going to give you an extra defender. But even if he's not over there, right? Like Ancap said, if you just put that guy on a soft squat on the outside, oops,
that's
they're
the other
not
thing.
going
They
to be.
have to throw it quickly.
Yeah.
They have to make that read right away.
Yeah, no, it's not a good. Um, like those guys never block the outside guy. Let's just say it that way, right? On this bubble, the slot guys will never block the outside guy initially. They
That tough
always
spot, yeah,
sucked
it's
in.
not going to hurt you if you're running that other play too,
Yep.
right? If they're doing that other play where they're going to the right, you know, it's not going to hurt you in that regard.
Yep. So yeah, if you were, and like Ancap said, if they were audibling from this to this, that tight end's gonna switch.
You got all the time in the world to change this, and now you can go ahead
Yep.
and do other stuff.
Yeah. So if they're in this setup here, right, and we do the setup we just talked about, so we're gonna Mabel the, oops, we're going to Mabel that left side there, right? We're gonna put the inside guy there on that defensive end to the right. We're gonna put him on a QB spy, and then we were gonna man up the RB. And again, I like to then press RB to get that guy to shift in a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. But now let's say that they're in this and they're like, all right, now I want to go to the RPO bubble. Now at this point, you see all of these guys switching. If you wanted to, just at that point, put the guy on the soft squat. That guy's gonna follow. Like, see how this guy rotated all the way over here? I would just man him up at that point on that guy. Do something like that. Just make it easy on you. But if they go to throw this, I mean, they're not going to be able to. It's not going to be an effect. That was even with the corner backed off. We could have pressed him if we really wanted to. But
Yeah, I think you have to have formation, acknowledgement, and understanding what they're expecting. If that's the two things that they're running the most, you have a setup to stop the other one. When they go into that one, you do that one. And once they start seeing that you've got answers, they stop doing that stuff. Right? Like they have to start playing real football. So
yep. Wait a second. Do we say real football?
yeah, flipping your formation to get
Oh, I
RPO advantage is not real football. That's Madden meta crap.
That's true. The flipping part of it for sure is. Um, but yeah, that's not a very good flip. Because again, if there's a flip that gives you a lot of time, and he's been doing it over and over, you got to just have in your head, you have to know your adjustment you want, right? If you don't set everything up initially and there's one change you want to make when they flip to this new formation, just be ready for it. As soon as you see it flip, again, you're going to have plenty of time. Don't panic. Just make your adjustment because, again, if your tight end has to switch sides, you're going to have a solid 4 or 5 seconds before they can call hike. Zell, no training variety pack depressing this year. Yeah, I agree. Those were fun last year. I don't even open packs that much. Griff, to be fair, Ancap's philosophy is blitz everything. Yeah, no, it's very true. Very true. Uh, Caesar, you were panic on that play. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's and that's just the thing that reps comes with, right? The more reps you have in a situation, the more comfortable you're gonna be, and the less panicked you'll get, right? There's if I see something, if I'm playing in a game and my opponent is flipping to something I've never seen before, or he's coming out and doing something I've never seen before with a motion or with a complete formation change or just a route combination, anything like that. Sometimes I'll get that little panicky inside me too because I don't know the response for this, right? I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I think being prepared is the best way to reduce panic when you're in a game, and that goes for any skill level in any sport, anything you do, right? It's not just, and that's something that I've worked on again, knowing what I want. So if my opponent, right, a very popular thing this year is people who are in Eagles, right? They'll go from bunch to that trips halfback week. Um, I know my adjustments in my head. Right? As soon as I see the three receivers run to the left, I know what I'm going to adjust to right away. Then again, I may want to freestyle once I get it set up if there's something I'm looking for. But I have a couple adjustments ready. Because again, the key to defense at any moment, in my opinion, is setting up a defense that's going to cover certain areas of the field, but the knowledge with your user of where you're weak is very important. And if you're panicking and you're not on the right guy, like again, I know at the end of that play you're on the outside corner. That's typically not a spot people want to be in general. And then you got clicked on the D tackle. Again, so two positions you didn't want to be on. Um, so again, just that showed that if you do get the user of where you want it to be, it's a lot easier if you know the spot you need to be on the field, right? So every defense I set up, I leave something open because I know that's where I have to go with my user. And that's how I think of it when I'm designing a coverage. No, I need a good pressure defense, and I have tried running double mug, nickel dog, 3 buzz. It's not consistent to me. Does the 2 blitzing safeties or middle linebacker matter on their speed, size, or abilities? And Kev, that's a question for you.
Do they matter? Yes and no. I mean, I've got players right now. I got Chanel and I've got Ray Lewis there from that standpoint. I guess I got to ask him some other regs, but those aren't the most speedy guys. Those aren't the best. Like they're kind of a little bit bulkier, and they still work. Um, my favorite players before the whole fatigue thing, and I switched them out was Winfield uh, Jr., where he was a shorter, quicker acceleration guy. There are better players. The guy on the right is the guy that you want with a little bit more speed. I think the shorter guys and the high acceleration are your best. And it all depends on what your expectation is of the blitz. Let me kind of explain. So I've been playing a lot more PL lately. I played Dubby, Dez, Mr. Football, Rage. I'm going to tell you right now, anytime they don't block the running back, I'm flying in there and getting them. I'm forcing them to have to block the running back every single time. And once they block the running back, it doesn't come in, as far as the way that it flies in without the running back blocked. So if they block the running back, yeah, they can block the blitz, but now I'm sending 4 and they're only having 4 out. I got 7 to cover 4. It's a lot easier, and they're on a timer, right? Those guys will shed, those guys get off, whatever the case is. So it all depends on what your opponent is doing to stop it. Most people want to send 5 out, and I have them running all over the field with it, right? It's just a matter of what your expectation is on it and what you're looking for. Now, I think that's with any blitz. I don't think there's a blitz in the game that's not blockable. If you want to put extra players to it, it's just a matter of to me, I like to use it because if they don't block it, I'm getting extra pressure. If they do try to block it, and you know, slide, do all that, I can usually get it in. If they're blocking the running back, what they're doing is they're getting extra protection. They get, they're basically needing 6 to block 4. And I think it's a huge advantage for us. So it all depends on what you're looking at.
Let me catch.
And see that if you have who you're using and what your team is, we can help you with that. I just don't know specifics right now. I don't know if you're still here, to be honest with you. Yeah,
Will you be updating 3-3 odd? I just updated it not too long ago, G-Sun. A lot of the coverages that I run are either in Ravens or Raiders, right? Because Ravens was 3-3 odd as well. The blitz in Ravens is no longer, because that was the loop, right? So that's no longer what I do. But all the coverage shells behind the pressure still work the same way. Just I updated it with the pressure that I use now in Raiders. And the way that I have been doing it, if I can show you guys here. So in 3-3 odd, let me get my other controller. I just updated my team, guys, and these 2 guys that I'm about to show you are really good. And I think the setup I have right now is about as good as you can get when it comes to this defense, and I'll show you who I'm using in each position as well. But here at where 7 is, this is where I have Shaquille Barrett, Antcap's favorite player, favorite team. And then this spot over here, I have Iraq Poe, right? Now, I'm not running any of the pre-lit guys So you guys can add pre-lit guys here. They're the best options. But if you're not running pre-lit guys, sorry, if you are running pre-lit guys, you want Karloftis here and you want Arakpo here. That would be the best for this to work. But if you're not running that, or if you're in CFM, or if you're in Reg, or something like that, Edge Threat or Edge Threat Elite on this spot is very, very good. And so for some reason, I feel like high finesse moves, I get some really good animations with Barrett. Arakpo gets some good ones as well. But Barrett has really high finesse moves, and he just gets really good animations there from that spot. D tackle's kind of irrelevant of who you have here. Just have a big body. Doesn't really matter. And then this outside guy is somebody that I want that can rush the passer, but can also play coverage if I want him to. Right? So I have Bo Jackson here. He has high power moves, but he also has lurk artists, and he's a good player. Linebacker, you just want some lurk artists here at your 2 middle linebacker spots. But outside corner, I have this Melifonwu. He's a free safety, but he gets mid zone and deep out zone for 2 AP. Over here, I have Rashad Jones, who gets deep out zone and mid zone for 1 AP. I have Adderley because he gets deep zone and mid zone for 3. And then I have Simmons, who gets deep zone and mid zone for 2. And then here at slot corner, I have Sertan, who has flat zone and pick artist for 0. So that's what I'm running personnel-wise. But the way I'm setting up this pressure is... We'll just come on empty so we can show what it looks like initially. So what I'm doing is, again, we talked about... we always, no matter what we do, we're always going to have this guy on one side or the other. If we're having auto flip on, obviously he'll flip to different sides depending on the formation that we're going against. He's always going to be opposite of the slot corner, right? So what we want to do is we want to shift our line away from that player, and then I've been crashing away from him as well, right? So that's what my angle is going to look like on my D line. And what I'm looking for is this guy over here is going to get his edge threat elite to light up. Now, I have secure protectors at every spot, so we're probably not going to get pressure here in this video as consistent as you would if someone's doesn't have 5 secure protectors. But this guy here is going to attack the guard, but he's still going to get edge threat elite to light up, right? So this is really where I can attack people because most people have edge protector or secure protector on their tackles, right? That's a very popular thing to see. Not as many people run it on both guards, right? So I use this to attack an interior lineman, but still I'm able to use edge threat elite on that player. So if you see here, again, he might not get in because of all my secure protectors, but we should see him light up. And if he doesn't light up, we're going to get that animation like that, which is something we talked about in the game plan as well. So you're going to get good pressure regardless. And if we look at this, again, it's just the angle of how he's rushing, where he gets to this. Right, you see how when he rushes, he's now like to the side of Quentin Nelson there. Once you get to this point, you're going to get a pretty quick shed no matter what. But you can see we're getting a quick shed there from Arakpo. Oh, Arakpo actually gets a spin move, so you can see his edge threat light up here, right? He gets a spin move where he wins. He just runs into somebody else. And then we also have the ability to get this guy off the edge as well. So, again, we're only sending 4 here. And we're going to be able to get solid pressure. Obviously, there's not a lot open at this point. I didn't even set up anything. There's just a base cover too. So that's the base way that I'm running this. Again, all I'm doing is I'm shifting my line away from that outside linebacker, and I'm crashing that same way that I shifted the line. And then when they say hike, and you can see there, Shaq Barrett did light up, and we're able to get that edge. Again, all I have on him is edge threat elite. Like, no outsiders as well, but obviously that's not going to be affecting anything. But you can see here, even against the secure protector number 7 here, we get this to light up, and then he gets this rip move, and he's going to be there at the quarterback very quickly. Right, so this is something that you don't even need abilities to work. The angles of this get really good pass rush in general. Abilities obviously will help you in this. And then the other way that you can run this is instead of shifting away from, you can shift your line or spread them. And when we spread them, we can then crash down. And when I do that, there's 2 things I'll do. Most of the time, I pull this guy up and I stand him over the D tackle like this. And now I'm going to be having the potential to get my edge threats to work on the edge there with the 2 defensive ends. And I'm dropping 8, right? So I'm only sending 3. I'm going to be dropping 8. So that time, Shaq Barrett did light up on the left. Again, I have 5 secure protectors, so we're not going to be able to get crazy pressure most of the time. But we still can get this to light up as well. So whoever gets the single team, One of them's going to get single teamed because the D tackle typically gets doubled, and then at times the other D end will get doubled. So that means there's going to be one left for us here. So again, we do get the Edge Threat Elite to light up here. It's just I have Secure Protector to help shut that down. The one thing I will say with that is the reason I set it up this way is in the middle of a game, depending on where I know their Secure Protectors are, I'll start to attack the other spot, right? So let's say I know that their right guard doesn't have Secure Protector, right? So then I'm going to come out with this, and I'll run this not with auto flip, right? So I always want this outside linebacker to the right side because I can shift away and I can crash to the left. And now I'm able to really isolate that right guard one-on-one with a really good pass rusher. And you can see he got beat immediately there. Even Shaq Barrett won on that rep. So if we look at this, Arakpo wins immediately. Again, assume this is the guy that has no Secure Protector. We're going to get one-on-one. He wins immediately on that. Again, he does get picked up there. But over here, we have our edge threat that also gets a nice rush angle around the edge. Again, that is against the Secure Protector. So even though we have Secure Protectors and your opponents have them, it's not like it's going to shut it down every play. I would attempt to attack the players that don't have Secure Protector if you could, though, just because that'll help. And the other thing, you can spread your line and you can crash down. And we can get a loop at times as well here where that guy will run around the edge. And if the guard doesn't get there, you could see how that guy was looping around the edge. This will set up a lot of times a one-on-one with our D tackle. So that's another way you can attack a player if they don't have a lot of abilities on that center. But you can see here how we do get the loop around the edge. And there will be times where this guy doesn't pick this up, right? It's not super consistent. We did put this in the update. But it is going to force them really up into the pocket. If they back up, we're definitely going to get the sack. So again, that's just simple. We're just going to spread line. You can either crash down or crash to the right with that. But if they say hike and they do tend to back up at all, you're going to see that loop's going to come around the edge there and get that sack. So those are the three ways that I'm causing pressure, just stock pressure out of this. Obviously, we have some blitzes as well. The easiest one is just to shift away, crash down, and then blitz the slot corner. So it'd be that guy over there. And then I like to stand here with one of the linebackers. And then I'm just going to back up like that. And we're going to get that guy off the edge free. It's not something that I run against empty at all, just because he's so far out. But I'll run that against bunch at times. But again, you can just see how our edge threats are going to work, right? You can see here Arakpo off the edge. He is winning, right? He wins that immediately. We get a nice push up the middle. We get a win over here. I mean, it's just really good angles to get that pressure in. King get loose. I do still use packages. I use the strong safety inside most of the time. So I can put my safeties in outside thirds. Because what I do a lot is this right here. Right? A cover 3 type look. Or Tampa 3 type look. And typically I'll stand in here with this user just to help protect the middle of the field a little bit more. Then I'm just going to, again, try to force them to check it down. Right? That defense is designed to not give up something deep quick. And you do need the strong safety or free safety inside package. Either one will work. Zell, any tips on making learning Madden more digestible? I feel overwhelmed trying to understand some of the concepts. Antcap, if you want to answer that first, and if I have anything I can.
So really, I mean, it's very vague on what you're asking. So if there's anything more specific on what concepts, so you're talking offensive, defensive, you're talking this, you're talking that, and it all depends on what. I'd say this a lot. I think we all play different Maddens. What I mean by that is the skill level that you're playing, what you're facing. There's like a stair step approach to it. So sometimes there are things that we're teaching that are going to be for the very, very high level Madden. There's these, there's concepts and things that we're teaching that is going to, basically be for people that don't do adjustments if that's who you're playing. Right? So kind of understanding what level that you're playing on will help with, what you're asking. So if you can help out. So more of a process of how you learn whatever concepts.
I guess, how do you... Zell, are you talking about the... I think the way I'm understanding is the game plans on the site. Sometimes he feels overwhelmed with all the information. Yeah, there you go. How would you go about learning the game plan without feeling overwhelmed? Is that what you're asking, Zell?
So the game plans are not designed to be learned right away. I want to make sure that you guys understand the philosophy of the game plans. Game plans are like you get to day one in camp in NFL, the coach gives you the whole entire playbook. You're not sitting there saying we're going to do the whole entire playbook. They're going to start with installments. They're going to start with the base O, basically, and then next week you're going to add a few plays. Next week you're going to add a few plays. Next week you're going to add a few plays. The way we do it is we give you the whole playbook and we say, you know what, here you are. Start, with things that you are facing, and that's why the offensive coordinator is so great because it tells you, what's going to be best against it with coverage. So if you're playing someone, I don't say someone, but if you're playing a lot of people and your level is playing all man coverage, learning cover four quarter default bombs makes no sense whatsoever. If you're playing somebody that's doing a lot of cover three, again, learning cover four default bombs makes no sense. If you're playing somebody who's running 4-3-6, even 6-1, and you're facing meta and you're facing cover four, default, that's when you need to start, let me go back into the game plan. Let me go back into the playbook and say, I need to put some installments that I need to know what to put into my offense next. So it's really about understanding that you're not going to win as often as you want when you first start. You have to build it up to what you want so you have a whole repertoire of plays to use. There's no reason to, if you look at my Arizona Cardinals game plans, the first one's 5 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. It's a lot of content. We're not expected to learn all that. I don't use it all. Let's be honest. I'm using my favorite stuff, but but there are things that were designed in there for solution base, right? And some people, like, I hate running flood concepts, and it's the easiest thing in the game to run. All bunch is based upon flood concepts. I run empty. To me, flood concepts take too long from a wider standpoint when you have to throw the ball quickly and empty. But they're there for people that have the ability to want to roll out, or they're there for people that are in different formations that run it. I'm just not a fan of running them. Not that because they're not successful; they really are. It's just for me, I'm just wired different, right? So it really depends on what you're facing, what you want to learn, and the way I always tell people is literally just start off with a few plays that you feel that could beat all coverages. We kind of call them base plays, and then add a few cover three beaters because that's probably the most common thing you're going to face. Add a couple cover four drop, and then kind of see what do you face a lot. And what do you face a lot? All right, this is what I'm facing a lot. Let me go back into the game plan and what is going to be best against this coverage, and add slowly, and until you understand this is what there's people that, and I've heard this a lot, is when I put out a game plan personally, you can have 20 different people running 20 different ways to run it in a way that's different from a standpoint of what their favorite plays in the game plan are. And I think that's kind of what we want to do is to kind of make it sure that you guys have the ability to customize it to what you like best, what you're comfortable with. I hear a lot of people, they don't like post wheel in empty tray stack because they're not comfortable throwing that S post. And I'll throw it every single play if you give it to me. Right. So it's just different levels of, because you kind of have to have a decent pocket to throw that ball because you have to step up and throw it. And some people, if you back up, you're never going to throw that ball because you're taking the distance of the throw and you're allowing the safety to come down on it. Right. So, like, it's really about understanding what your comfort level is. And it's okay if you're not running a play. Like I said, you know what? If you can't throw that S post, that play's not as good. Throw it away, go to the next play, right? Find what your comfort level is and build off of it. And I think that's probably the easiest way I could say. It's really about looking in the mirror and saying, that play's great, but I'm not going to be able to maneuver the pocket to make that work. So let me find a play that's a little more quick hitting. And you just go through them. And then until you find what's your level of comfort, and you move to the next play. And you add a play. Um,
Yep.
that's how I always told people how to do it. And don't get overwhelmed with the amount of content. Understand that most players only use 5 to 10 plays on their playbook when it comes to, and then they just add it or whatever the case at the highest level. We give you a bunch because we want you to pick your five. And I always say I start with my favorite plays at the top of the game plan, and the ones that call the most. I always start off because people's attention span basically is limited, and they always want to start at the front, so that's where I'm going to put my favorite plays. So that's basically how that works.
Yep, and I agree. And I think uh, to what Lauren said as well, I think patience is huge in any game plan you're
Right.
trying to learn, and not not giving up or feeling down on yourself if you struggle early on. Because again, you're not going to know the setups. You're not going to know all the setups. You're not going to know all the situationally based things you need to know. But again, you're building, right? And Dime says all the time, brick by brick, right? You want to focus on the base. And like I said, base plays are the best. We name them that so you guys can understand those are designed to work against a variety of coverages, right? They're not play specific, right? Your opponent doesn't have to be in cover 4 drop to run that play. Um, and then we try to do that with all of our offensive game plans. Understanding a couple of those, again, understanding that it's going to take time to learn. You got to put in that time if you want to get good at it, right? I mean, you could pick a few plays from it and have some success against certain people, but if you want solid and continual success, you're going to have to put time in and be patient and just, again, you can't tell yourself it's a lot, right? If you take it little by little, you're going to understand, oh, I learned 3 plays this week. All right, next week I'm going to try to learn 2 more plays, right? And that's how I do that as well. Like when I've ran Antcap's offenses, I do the same thing. I learn the base plays, and like he said, he always puts his favorite plays at the first part. And also, Antcap's favorite plays are going to have 15 breakdowns, right? If it typically if it has 1 breakdown or not, it's typically a specific type of play that he likes for a certain type of coverage. But those plays where he has, again, 13, 14, 15 setups or breakdowns of that play alone, a lot of times in those plays, you're going to have the ability to stay in that play. You can have a couple base options out of that. You could have a cover 3 beater out of that. And that's how I do it when I'm learning his stuff. Because, again, it can be a lot. He has an answer for everything. So you got to know that it's going to take you time to learn the answer for everything.
Cool.
I saw Cino asked, I don't run 2-4 much. Get loose. I think you asked me that. No, I don't run that much. What am I running against trip sets? Also, what do you do against bunch sets? Just a base setup. So against bunch, I'll show you my number 1 base setup. I'll show you 2, and I'll show you 1 against trips. So against bunch, I'm going to come out and cover 2. Match on. Zone drops off to start. What I like to do is I like to show blitz and set up my pass rush, right? So whether I want to send 4, I'll shift away and crash away. If I want to send 3, I'll spread and crash down and then bring this guy up here. So let's say we spread and crash down. We'll bring this guy up here. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my coverage. That's what I always do first. So I'm going to go outside corner on the left and an outside third. And safety's going to go into the middle. And other safety's going to go in an outside third to the right. From here, I like to man up people. Okay, and I typically will go right to left. So I'll man up the 3 yellows. So I'll go slot corner on outside receiver, right of screen linebacker on tight end, and then left screen linebacker on running back. So this is my setup of what I'm doing. Now, the reason I do this out of Tampa 2 is because we were able to get a certain block here. So the reason I like this is a certain press. The guy on the left, even if they're running a C route, when you start in cover 2 and you run that outside third, you're going to get a nice jam on that C route, which really makes them not want to throw that. So what I'm doing is I'm just helping over the middle with this guy, right? So I'm going to be here. They're going to say hike. Again, I'm going to know what play's coming here because I know what double post looks like, something that I face all the time. But if we go to the replay here, what you're going to see is to the right side, again, we got the manned up guy here on the tight end. Going to follow there with help from the cloud flat if he does get beat a little bit. And we have an outside third over the top. Again, running back's going to be covered with this guy. Sometimes they'll take this for a few 5-yard gain. Most people will not stick to that the whole game. So I'll just let them take that for the most part. But what you'll see here is even on this C route, we get a really nice jam with this outside third. And it makes this C route hard to throw, right? Even if they throw this, you can click on, you can make a pick there. Any vertical route, this is going to shut down, right? So streak, deep dig, I never worry about this solo receiver unless he's on a drag or a slant. Then I have to look out to help there. So that's what I'm doing as 1. And what I've been doing lately is going to be a zone version. But what I'll do is, and also if you don't want to show blitz, you don't want everyone going down, you can manually just press that solo receiver. As long as he's on a third, you don't need everyone else. What I've been doing here, this is when I want to send 4 a lot. I will go, it'll look like this. I'll just set it up. It'll look like this. So I'm putting this guy in an outside third. This guy, you don't even have to change this guy because this is going to be our user, to be honest. But I do put him in a mid-read. This right of screen linebacker I have in the middle third. This guy over here I have in an outside third, and then I put this guy in a hard flat. Then I'm going to come down from this spot here because a lot of times they don't expect me to come from here, right? So again, I'm going to come from here. I'm going to fill the middle, look for any crosser coming across the field, allow that pressure to come in. That's a zone version that I'm using against bunch. Again, both out of Tampa 2. Like AntCap said, I may not call a ton of plays, but I'm going to be doing a bunch of different setups in this play. And then I do throw in Tampa 3 a lot as well, where I'm just going to do that. And if I do Tampa 3, typically I do like to move this guy back a little bit, just to help him get a little bit depth. And again, this is a defense designed to force them to take the check down, right? So the only option I really want them to throw there is that running back on that little out route. So that's what I'm doing against bunch. As my base plays, again, I always adjust. Against trips, I am doing a couple things as well. I'll show you two. Hot Blitz 3 is one. This is something that AntCap ran last year a lot. I still do this a ton. So we're going to man up the blitzing guy on the middle receiver, safety on the inside receiver. We're going to put the right of screen linebacker on a hard flat, and that's all I'm going to do. Match is on the bunch setup, so you know. You can't get that press with the outside receiver if you don't have match on. So this is what I'm going to do against trips as my first base setup, right? And then my other setup against bunch that I've been doing a ton lately, I'll show you two out of Tampa 2. I like to show blitz a lot. But I'm going to put the outside guy on the left in a soft squat. I'm going to man this guy up to the inside, this guy up on the running back, and then I'm going to user this guy and go to the middle. So they're going to say hike. I'm going to come here to the middle and follow this tight end over. Again, allow that pressure to come in. And then if I want more of a zone drop base out of Tampa 2, I like to show blitz. I'm going to rotate my coverage to the left this time. And then I typically will do this. So hard flat, the right of screen, man up the inside guy, and it'll look like this. And then I'm just sitting here over the middle. Again, allowing my pressure to come in. So yeah, those are the options that I'm going to, those are the few that I'm going to do against trips, right? It will be, Jason, it will be. Yeah, Hot Blitz 3 is nice. Speaking of pockets, do you and Pick'em slide your O-line right or left or double team depending on what front you're facing or depending on where the Pokemon glows are going? Yeah, Shred, in the Meta Buster, we did talk about how to double team 1 and 2 glow sticks. If they're not sending glow sticks, this will be. It'll be under the tip section, C note. If they're not sending glow sticks, I typically don't adjust my line unless they're sending a blitz. One thing that I do is if they're setting like a base 4-man pressure, I will double team the D tackle. I want my team to double team. Just because I feel like they block a little bit better and engage in the double team quicker if I do it. That's just my personal. It could be made up, but that's something that I do. But I don't just shift one way every single time. That's not something that I do. And I don't think AntCap does either. I think it's depending upon the blitz.
Yeah, I block a blitz based upon what they're doing. And I'm not... I'm just looking to get a hat on a hat, and then I use my pocket sense based upon angles of what they're doing, right? Like if you're double teaming the D tackle and he's driving you right, then you kind of want to slide a little left. If he's driving you left, you want to slide a little right, right? You kind of want to look at the guys that are in your interior first, and usually the outside players that are blitzing you, as long as you don't back up too far, you can step up left or right. If you back up too far, that's when you're inviting them to get that shed and get to you. So that's how I go about doing it. King Loose, just so you're real quick about the cover 4 drop. If you do the fade out that we showed for cover 3, you do it from the right hash mark. It beats cover 4 drop over the top to the left. So that's basically what I try to do, is just go to that just so I don't have to learn 2 things. It's on there. We got a bunch of cover 4 drop beaters, especially like red zone up out of the empty wide is a good one. But for me, I usually just go to the same setup we do where we just slant the top receiver on the right hash, and you're going to see that the tight end gets open basically across everybody on the left side of the numbers on the right hash. Yeah, with the slant. It's in the game plan. So if you look at the last one for empty tray stack, you'll see that. Just as a heads up. Yeah. Pickle, you didn't sign up for that tournament?
I was just looking. I think I forgot.
You definitely forgot.
I could have swore I signed up.
I'm looking for your bracket. I'm like, who you
I
got?
was
And
too. I
you
was
signed up.
when you were explaining that. I was looking for myself, and I was like, I'm not in here.
You're definitely not.
I could have swore I did it earlier today.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, so King Louis, yeah, that's the play. I don't know if we got the offense cleared up now. So let me. Looks like my first opponent's not playing. I could probably show it to you real quick if.
I can stop sharing my screen if you want.
Yeah, let me just. I got 2 minutes before the guy gives me a free win.
Let's wait to see. G-Son, I'm not. I'll probably still throw up a stream. I was gonna stream the tournament, but clearly that is no longer an option.
All right, so let me get everything up here as far as my controllers and I'll show you that cover 3 bomb that I try to make fun. I'm not trying to make fun. I had fun with Pick'em about if he could read that player that's open. It's a concept I'm doing out of several different formations, so you guys can see it. So let me. And the good news is that I do it out of empty tray stack, fade out. I can do the same play for an easy bomb. So let's start off with sharing my screen. Sharing my screen. Actually, let me pop this out so it's easier.
Trade. To be fair, this is my first tournament that I forgot to sign up for.
I don't think that's.
To be fair,
I don't know if there's a to be fair. I think that's just it's a.
Oh, how did I forget? I literally was on the website earlier. It was probably Antcap. Probably Antcap's fault. He probably messaged me and asked me something, and then I forgot.
Here's so let's go to cover 4 drop. So basically, I mean we can definitely. So let me just do what most people are doing. That. And go to dollar. I got mug here, but it's the same thing. Cover 4 drop. And all we're doing here is fade out, put the Y on a slant from the right hash mark this time, right? So basically this. And you'll see that the A is going to get open basically on the left side of the field here. Once it gets across there, you throw that ball, and you got yourself a touchdown.
I think you're on a delay, but either way, we still get to see the touchdown.
I'm Notre Dame. Let me go back to my screen. So filters. All right, so hopefully you can see that. Can you get loose? Yeah, you just gotta wait more, right? So it's just simple like that. Now, if you want to see the bomb play that I'm doing, right? So this is the cover 3 bomb. This is out of empty tray stack. So what you want to do is if you're on the left hash mark, you're gonna come out flipped. So you're basically come out and fade out, flip it. Just go to cover 3 here. All right. So start off with it flipped on the left hash. And you're going to flip the play. When you flip the play, see this RB? You're going to put him on a streak underneath the left tackle. So here, I flip the play. I put him on a streak right into the left tackle, right? So he has this inside design, right? Put the B on a comeback, and then put the Y and the X on streaks. So here's the setup. And so you can see at the A, and everybody takes the players to the right. RB is going to be over the top. And you get yourself an easy touchdown. So that's the concept. Now, and you guys can have you have a VOD for this. You can go see it, so you can see what it is. I also do this out of this is an easier one for me, I think. Is I start off in split close, okay, and I go to and put my tight end at fullback. See that package of the tight end at fullback? And what I do there is I audible to normal Y off close, which is probably going to be our next what's it called? Our next formation that we'll break down. And So I start here in split close. I pick any play, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to normal Y off close. It's only 2 clicks here. I'll call Y sail. And then I do the Y on the same thing. I put it underneath the right. It goes to the inside like this. Put the X on a drag on a comeback. I might have done this Y a little bit too close, but it is what it is. I move this guy over this way, block my running back, and now it's basically the same thing. And you can see this guy's going to come inside. Nobody's going to be... Actually, that time I told you it wasn't going to work because I did it too early. You want to do it underneath the player. I did it right before him. So let's try this again. So I go to this. I go to Y sail. I put the Y on it right there. So now he's got a deeper inside thing. And let's just do it this way. And I'll show it like this, right? And you'll see that we're just basically getting these guys to go to the right. Why isn't that guy coming over there? It's a 1-2 read. I think I'm just not doing it wide enough, but this has been something I've been going to in game. And let's try it one more time. So Y sail. All right, so this is a wider one. This should definitely work. And I'm not sure why it's not right now, but we're gonna do it again. See how that Y is now wider into the inside? Let's see. Yeah. And you basically throw that ball there. So what ends up happening there is I think my 15 is not who I usually have there. He's getting this little weird animation where he's sticking his foot in the ground. I usually have Ward there, and you can see I think that's the issue that we're seeing here is this guy right here. He's doing this, and then he's doing this little hard stick. I think this is just a player-specific thing. That's what's ruining it. So I gotta look at somebody who doesn't do that. But you can see how this is going to get open right here, and you basically just throw it. But I was just kind of looking at it. So you can see how it's both ways. But I gotta bounce, yes, directly underneath when you streak it. So right underneath the left tackle. So you can see here, if I do this to by sail, right? I want to do it right under the right tackle there. And you can see the closer you get to the center, the wider his route's going to be. So, and you can do this as well this way if you wanted. Right? If you say you want to block your tight end and move this guy out so it doesn't look the same thing each time. And then now you can see how this guy's going to get over here. You throw this over in that little hole. You get yourself an easy one. 1 point score against cover 3. So it's directly underneath the closest tackle. So on fade out, when I had him going to the right, I had it underneath the left tackle. When I have it on this play going to the left, I do it under the right tackle. So it looks like my second game's up, so I got it bounced, guys. But I will catch y'all later. If you're streaming, pick them. I'll let you know how it's going.
Yep,
and,
I will.
Yep.
And I'll be starting to stream in probably about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Who am I playing? I'm playing Drip, your boy.
Oh gosh, he just meta. He does run a unique defense. He runs nickel and then he shifts his linebackers to the right. So he's gonna have like 4 on the line, a 5th guy on the right side of the screen, then his middle linebackers as user.
Is he blitzing?
He does sometimes, but he's not blitzing a ton. I think he mans that guy up a lot. So I'm in trip, so it's different for what you're facing.
Cool.
But yep.
I'll let you know how it goes. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Yep.
Any other final questions, guys, here before I hop off as well? At least I will be streaming in a little bit. About 10 minutes or so. Sorry I'm not in the tournament. I forgot. We'll grind my competitive pass. No playlist. You're right. You're right. I'll get it for what's today? Tuesday? You guys will have it by Thursday stream. Deal? Deal? Thursday stream. Hey, not a problem, Lon. Steal some spread route combos? Alright, cool. I'm running angry runs. So, yeah. Like I said, we'll be doing the stream about 10 minutes, so probably about 9:25-ish. I'll probably be live on that. Like I said, it will be on Huddle's channel, so make sure you guys check that out. I will upload these. I may start the stream about 9:30. I'm going to upload this. And I don't want to be live when my thing is uploading just because it'll slow everything down. So let me hop off here. I'll upload this to YouTube just so we can get it ready to put on the website, and then I can put on the website. But Again, just make sure you. Is there any new form? Yeah. I'll be doing something similar to what AntCap's doing, Shred, where I'll go to like a spread game plan in the spread, right? So we're gonna look at the spread formations towards the end. We'll probably do a doubles look. We might do a 2-back look. So yeah, something similar to what AntCap's doing, where we're kind of just piecing it off by formation, right? The first one we talked about was the trios, right? And then we'll look at the other ones. Again, there may be like a bunch. I don't know if I'll do bunches because I don't like bunch personally. But you can submit plays, yes. And if it's a play that makes the cut, Trent, I will give you a shout out in the video because I don't ever like to take full responsibility if I did not. You can just send it to me directly if you want. I don't know the exact day that we're gonna release it, but you can just message me directly. You don't even have to send me a video. You can just tell me what you're doing if you want me to look at it. And if it's a formation that I plan on going over, we can definitely add it in. Obviously, assuming that I can get it to work, but I would assume it's working for you, so should work for everybody. But yeah, you can definitely do that. So when you mentioned out of which formation, Trent? Oh yeah. That one's out of. Is that one out of the doubles flex Y offset, or is it the spread? Which one's that out of? I'm trying to remember which one it was out of, which formation. That'll probably be what I do next, is the spread ones. It's probably the goal. I don't know exactly yet, but that'll probably be the next set of formations that I do. So again, appreciate you guys. Like I said, let me get this uploaded real quick before I start the stream. But I'll get this uploaded, and then we'll do some seasons tonight. Just try to see if we can win a Super Bowl. I need to get my season stuff done before the end of the week, so we'll do that, and we can also grind my milestones a little bit. But appreciate you guys. Again, any questions you guys have throughout the week, make sure you bring them here. Again, you guys did great tonight. Thank you so much for keeping the questions coming the whole time. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes here.